All right, good evening. It is 2024 and no, you're not, we're not back a couple of years. I am stepping in today for Mr. Bedard as the chair of our meeting this evening, and welcome. Welcome to a new school year. Welcome to our administrators, our board members. We're back here again, and we are poised for an excellent year. So in order to start our meeting, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll have a reading of the mission statement. Mr. DeFranco.
Of course. The mission of the school district of Springfield Township is to educate and develop all students as learners and citizens who are high achieving, resilient, and responsible in a changing global community.
Thank you. And roll call, Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman. Mr. DeFranco.
Here.
Mrs. Hubley.
Here.
Mrs. Hughes. Mr. Bedard.
Here.
Mrs. Bell.
Here.
Mr. Jordan.
Here.
Mrs. Aberly.
Yeah.
Dr. Taratusky.
Here. All right, and for our announcements, the board at its discretion may videotape all or any portion of the public board meeting subject to the limitations set forth in policy 006 meetings. Board meetings will be broadcast on Friday afternoon following the board meeting. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Mary Jo Yannicone for the administrative report.
Thank you, Dr. Taratusky. It's nice to sit next to you again. Mr. Bedard, that doesn't mean I don't love sitting next to you on a regular basis.
I heard the comment. It should be logged for the minutes.
Thank you. All right, well, I want to welcome everyone back for the 24-25 school year. We are very happy and excited to begin the new year and eager to share updates and accomplishments over the summer months. I want to thank the board for your continued leadership and support of our schools, our students, staff, and families. We are extremely fortunate to experience the high level of dedication and commitment of our board members in Springfield. I'd also like to formally welcome Mrs. Aberly, our newest board member, who was seated in late June, and our new student representative, Sophia Gotti, and our alternative student representative, Serena Choi, who are with us this evening. Sophia was selected for this role from a large and competitive group of juniors as a result of her global perspective, her maturity, and her enthusiasm. Due to the increase in interest from students to serve this year, we have representatives on each committee, and several students will join our high school advisory as well. Serena, we're very happy to have you here as our alternate this year. The empowerment of our students and the inclusion of their voices is essential, and I'm happy to see the interest level rising among our students for civic engagement and service. We have a number of board motions on the agenda this evening. Under human resources, we have a personnel attachment that includes the hiring of bus drivers, instructional assistants, teachers, and extra pay positions, as well as our annual resignations. This is the time of year when these changes occur, and I'm happy to report that we are fully staffed as of today for all professional roles. We continue to interview and hire support staff in several areas and expect to be fully staffed in these positions at our next meeting in 2 weeks. As a contingency, there are 2 contracts under the Human Resources section that allow us to hire both short and long-term substitutes as needed in multiple support roles. We also have several conference approvals in this section, the recommendation of our interim middle school assistant principal, and approval of my incentive bonus. I'm grateful for your support and feedback on my annual evaluation, and I look forward to our continued work together on behalf of our community. Under academic affairs, we have multiple contracts for student placements with special needs, as well as annual contracts for translation services and curricular resources. We also have a foreign exchange student contract for a new student from Denmark at the high school, and our updated codes of conduct for our students across the district. I will leave a summary report for our most recent committee meeting to Dr. Taratusky, but I do want to first thank our administrators across the district who, under the leadership of Dr. Johnston, took great time and care this summer to research, study, reflect, and take action on a number of ways to strengthen our academic program this year. This summer has also been extremely busy in the area of policy development. Our agenda includes a number of revisions to policies limited to minor changes in terminology, as well as substantive changes to policies to reflect updates to the Pennsylvania School Code under Acts 33 and 55 and federal law under Title IX this year. We also have an update to Policy 707, use of facilities, and a new Policy 815.1 focused on artificial intelligence in education. Mrs. Hubley will provide a summary of our most recent meeting where all of these changes were discussed. Under property, we have one item. This item, the board may recall at our most recent committee meeting of property in the spring, where you approved moving forward with our project focused on athletic facility improvements and grading of the hill adjacent to the track at the middle school. The project includes a new high jump area, shot put, aluminum bleachers, concrete plaza for the aluminum bleachers, and ADA access to the bleacher area. It also includes storm drainage to improve the overall site drainage. You may recall we had some minor flooding on the corner of the track, and so this will address that as well. These areas will not be disturbed by the renovation addition project and will enhance the experience of our students immediately in physical education, activities, and athletics. The work will begin at the conclusion of the fall athletic season and be completed over the winter and was budgeted within the first $10 million bond allocated last year for capital improvements as a component of the middle school project and district-wide improvements. Under district news, I want to spotlight a number of summer activities in the district. It's been a very busy summer. Often I'm asked by those who work outside of educational systems whether we're open in the summer, and if so, what do we do with our time? As a result, I'd like to spotlight summer programs and departments as we kick off the new year. The Office of Teaching and Learning has provided ongoing professional development for specialists, clinicians, teachers, bus drivers, nurses, psychologists, and counselors. The office has also conducted extended school year services for students with the support of an outstanding team of professionals. Technology has set up and successfully transitioned the district's programs from e-school to power school, upgraded infrastructure, and are ready to distribute new teacher laptops, student iPads at Enfield, and they've cleaned Chromebooks at Erdenheim, the middle school, and the high school to get them ready for the new year. Many thanks to our student workers and our tech team for all of their efforts to accomplish these essential tasks. The operations department has maintained the grounds and are finalizing mulching, weeding, mowing, and planting to ensure that our campuses are welcoming and safe. Our supervisor of campus safety has conducted a review of all systems to ensure that we are up to date on best practices and safe to open to staff next week and students on September 3rd. The custodial services team has worked all summer to strip, clean, and wax floors and disinfect all surfaces. Today, I was able to take a tour with Mr. Watley of all 4 schools, and they are in excellent shape and nearly completed all summer work, which will be ready for Monday morning's arrival of our staff. The maintenance team has completed repairs to multiple systems and made certain that our buildings are safe and operational. The transportation department has continued to provide busing for students to summer programs and is readying for the new year. Much recognition goes to our director, Nate Bray, for his careful attention to detail and Herculean efforts to staff his department during a significant nationwide driver shortage. The Human Resources Department has processed thousands of applications and assisted in the hiring of personnel in all areas under the leadership of Director Emily Kerr. The Business Department has managed unbelievably well despite several leaves of absence this summer, with all team members pitching in to ensure that payroll continued and the rollover from year to year occurred seamlessly. Our administrative assistants across the district kept offices running throughout the summer months to address all needs within the department and to answer staff, students, and families who stop in with questions and requests. Induction of new staff began today, and our fall athletic programs at the high school started nearly 2 weeks ago. We have held informational sessions, tours, and scavenger hunts this month to acclimate our students and families to a new year, and we are excited to welcome all students for the first day of school, which will be Tuesday, September 3rd. And that concludes my report. Thank you very much, Dr. Taratowski.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And that truly proves that education is a year-round operation. We don't pause in the summer. We pause some things, but not everything. So thank you to all the administration and the staff for the work you've put in this summer so that we can start the year off well. Thanks. Okay. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Amy Humley, for the policy committee report. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we do that, actually, we have our new student representative, Sophia Gotti, and welcome. And we do have Serena Choi in attendance, who will be our alternate. Welcome to the board. And so we'll turn it over to you for the student representative report.
Thank you. I just wanted to start off by expressing how excited I am to be the board representative for this year. And yeah, thank you guys for this opportunity. That being said, I'll start off my report with Enfield. Over the past few weeks, Enfield has hosted successful kindergarten camps, which gave students a chance to get comfortable with classroom routines while also enjoying some fun learning activities. Additionally, kindergarten and new student tours provided a wonderful opportunity for newcomers to explore the classrooms, special area rooms, and meet the principals. Overall, Enfield is excited to welcome the incoming class of 2037, along with returning first and second graders. Over at Erdenheim, on August 15th, Mr. Spicer and Mrs. Mack welcomed third grade and new students to participate in the annual scavenger hunt. Students and families had an opportunity to take a self-guided tour of Erdenheim prior to the start of the school year on Tuesday, September 3rd. A second, third grade, and new student scavenger hunt will take place on Wednesday, August 21st from 4 to 6 p.m. As for the middle school, new student and family orientation is set for Thursday, August 29th from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Sixth grade students and families, along with any 7th and 8th graders new to our district, are invited to the orientation event. It will start in the middle school's gym for a brief meeting. Then the students will get a chance to meet their homeroom teacher while the admin teams chat with the families. High school fall sports also officially began on August 12th, including everything from cross-country to water polo and the brand new addition of girls volleyball. This year, 350 athletes came out for fall sports. So far, the golf team has already won a regular season match against Abington High School. Additionally, new student orientation is tomorrow from 2 to 3 p.m. So that concludes my report for this month, and thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing everyone again next month. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sophia. We appreciate that, especially since you haven't even begun school yet. So it's great. Thanks. Okay. Mrs. Hubley, could you provide a report on the policy committee?
Sure. The policy committee met on August 12th, 2024 at 8:15. In attendance were board members Eileen Bell, Sean Jordan, Jeff Bedard, and myself, Amy Hubley. The administrators were Dr. Yannicone, Dr. Johnston, Dr. Lutz, Emily Kerr, Mr. Lutz, and the student representatives were Ari Schwartzman and Bryn McGay. So the first agenda was minor changes to policies to align with updated terminology and school code as a result of Act 33 of 2023. Those policies that fall under that were 146.1, which is trauma-informed approach, 218, student discipline, 218.1, weapons, 218.2, terroristic threats. Language addressing students with disabilities was moved into the authority section of this policy. Policy 222, tobacco and vaping products. Policy 227, controlled substances and paraphernalia. Policy 323, tobacco and vaping products. Policy 351, drug and substance abuse. Policy 803, school calendar. Language here addressing instructional time updated to reflect Act 56 of 223. Policy 805, emergency preparedness and response. Language here was addressing instructional time was updated to reflect Act 56 of 2023. Policy 805.1, relations with law enforcement agencies. Policy 805.2, school security personnel. Policy 806, child abuse. Policy 904, public attendance at school events, and Policy 909, municipal government relations. There were also some additional minor changes to these policies. Policy 103, discrimination, harassment affecting students. This is following with a new policy 103.3, changes to attachment for basis of appeal. Policy 103.1, non-discrimination, qualified students with disabilities. Policy 104, discrimination, harassment affecting staff. Policy 801, public records. This was to clarify the district's responsibilities in responding to requests under the Right to Know Act. Policy 807, opening exercises and a moment of silence and flag displays. This goes along with Act 25 of 2024, which created a new section of school code, section 1555, which includes a mandatory moment of silence to be observed on September 11th. And then there were substantive changes to policies to reflect US DOE April 19th, 2024, final rule under Title 9, which is policy 234, pregnant parent or married students, 247, hazing, 249, bullying and cyberbullying, policy 252, dating violence, policy 317.2, educator misconduct, policy 336, personal necessity leave, policy 339, uncompensated leave, or policy 824, maintaining professional adult student boundaries. The next agenda on the meeting was revised policy to reflect changes to recommended practices. So for policy 707, use of school facilities, Act 33 of 2023 provided updates to terminology and school code impacting this policy. Following discussions with Springfield Township, the school district is adding language to the policy in our forms to remind groups who use our facilities that parking in the neighborhoods to attend events or school campuses is not recommended and can result in fines by the Springfield Township Police Department. There are also new policies. Policy 103.3, non-discrimination in school and classroom practices based on sex. Policy 104.3, non-discrimination in employment and contract practices based on sex. And policy 815.1, use of generative artificial intelligence in education. And then there were changes in policy titles. Policy 103.2, non-discrimination in school and classroom practices based on sex, to non-discrimination in school and classroom practices based on sex prior to August 1st, 2024. Policy 104.2, non-discrimination in employment and contract practices based on sex was changed to non-discrimination in employment and contract practices based on sex prior to August 1st, 2024. And then policy 815.1, web development, it became to policy 815.2, website development. And that is the end of my list of policies that could change. Very excited.
And the policy committee is at it again. A lot of work. Are there any comments or questions from the board regarding policy committee report?
I just had one comment. I thought, aside from the one policy that we talked about the not parking on the streets, all these other policies are not Springfield specific, correct? They're federal, right? Or state policies that had changed. They're not like our specific things that we changed.
So these are
Clarification.
our policies that you are voting on this evening that would be implemented here in Springfield Township. But the reason for the changes are the result of changes to Pennsylvania State Code, which are required, therefore we are required to comply with, and federal law under the
Yes.
new Title IX. And so the process we went through, as a reminder and even for information for the public, is that we get recommendations on a regular basis from the Pennsylvania School Boards Association on changes to policies that are warranted under changes to school code or federal law. And then we also review them with our solicitor. And so a number of the policies are using language that was recommended through Pennsylvania School Boards Association, and some of the language is being recommended through our solicitors. But in each case, they're making sure that we're compliant with law.
I just
With
want
the
to make sure.
exception of
point out,
707, you're
Right,
correct.
that's what's being driven by this, like at a state or federal level.
That's correct.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
correct.
Thanks. Any other questions or comments regarding the policy agenda? Okay. All right, I will share the academic affairs report and my thanks to Dr. Damian Johnston for providing me with the minutes of that meeting. In attendance were the board committee members, Amy Hubley, myself, Dr. Karen Taratuski, Eileen Bell, Dr. Lee Aberly, Dr. Yannicone, and Dr. Johnston. Sarah Hughes, another board member, was also in attendance. There were administrators, Dr. Chuck Rittenhouse, Dr. Amy Mangano, Dr. Scott Scragan, Dr. Michelle Lutz, and Mr. Brandon Lutz were also in attendance, and 3 student representatives, Isaac Darga, Anya Geinesman, and Sophia Gotti. So we welcomed Dr. Aberly as a new member of the board and a new member of the committee. And Anya, Isaac, and Sophia were our new student representatives this year. Dr. Amy Mangano is the new middle school principal, and she was also in attendance at that meeting. Mr. Lutz provided, there was an update on both PowerSchool and Schoology. PowerSchool is our student information system that we are moving to this year. Mr. Lutz provided an update on the summer work in the technology department in order to transition the district from the former student information system, eSchool, to our new system, PowerSchool. This full transition occurred on July 15th. And the parent portal, which is the new access for families, was communicated and shared on August 13th. And as of August 14th, reported to our meeting attendees, was over 4,000 parent logins into that system. So we know that our families have been able to access that system. The new student information system is integrating with our digital platforms and systems, and ongoing training is provided for staff and students. So this should be on track for a smooth start to the school year. Mr. Lutz also updated the committee on the use of Schoology, a learning management system for the middle and high schools. Each school will be using this as the primary landing page for students in all classes beginning in September. Students will receive access at the start of the year for the student portal, and more information will be available as we move through the year and at back to school nights in the fall. With regard to technology integration and student use, Dr. Yannicone provided an overview and historical look back at the way in which technology concerns have surfaced following the pandemic. This included the ways parents' concerns were shared, actions by the district for short and long-term actions, presentations and information presented to families and students, workshops and sessions held for families, and the administrative study and actions for summer 2024, which helped us to arrive at the recommendations that were shared at the meeting. Dr. Johnston described the areas of concern, and these included student mental health, adolescent use of social media, access to YouTube within the schools, the use of personal devices throughout the school day. The district seeks to partner with families, students, faculty, and the community in order to address technology use, and approaches this as a collaborative effort to help students create healthy habits for themselves as they enter adulthood. The district framework for teaching and learning focuses on creating rigorous, appropriate, engaging, and intentional experiences for students, which utilizes technology to extend and support their learning. The instruction is expected to be a balance of digital and non-digital materials within the classroom. Related specifically to technology, digital citizenship and core technology skills, and conscious and ethical use of technology is integrated across the K-12 curriculum through specific courses and content. And finally, the district is focusing on cybersecurity and ensuring an effective filtering system for content within our schools, on our networks and devices. After much work throughout the summer by our administrative team, there have been a few shifts in our expectations for student technology. Dr. Johnston presented these to the board to the committee for approval. And board policy acceptable use, it's board policy 815, was reviewed in preparing these recommended changes. No policy changes to policy 815 were needed at the time. Let's see, the updates, some of the updates that were recommended were with regard to elementary smartwatch and cell phone use, ensuring smartwatch and cell phone use at the elementary level is only occurring outside of the school day. Students are not to wear these or use these devices in school, and they are expected, if brought to school, that they will remain in their personal backpacks until after school hours. With regard to adjusting YouTube access, and this includes, the term is whitelisting. This means that faculty and staff will have to place access to a particular educationally appropriate video into their Google Classroom, Seesaw, or Schoology materials for students to be able to access it. So there will no longer be any independent access to YouTube for students in grades K through 8. For high school students, they will have access, but videos will need to be appropriate for students aged 11 and older. Most high school students are aged 14 and older. The district believes these changes, along with the continued use of LineWise, will ensure that appropriate and quality materials are available on student or school-owned devices. With regard to the Chromebook access for lunch at the middle school, beginning in September, students will no longer be able to bring their Chromebooks into the cafeteria. Instead, there will be storage carts available outside the cafeteria to store their device until after lunch. We have added 2 additional lunch aides, total of 4, to assist with supervision, and will be opening up space into the audion for student lunch periods. They will have opportunities for games, cards, and puzzles, along with gathering with their friends during lunch. Students who do need to access their device to complete homework or projects will continue to have the opportunity to work with a faculty member during lunch or go to the library for Chromebook use. With regard to cell phone use at the high school, beginning in September, expanded use of the cell phone hotels in each classroom at the high school will occur. Students will place their personal device in a cell phone hotel storage pocket throughout the instructional block. They will be permitted to use these devices during the class period when directed or approved by the classroom teacher. Code of conduct is being updated to reflect these changes, and students will be permitted to use their cell phone device during class change, lunch and learn, as well as study hall. And finally, information was shared on the ways in which the district offers to support family learning and engagement in technology use in the home. The district will host a parent and family education series this year, as well as a book study of the book, The Anxious Generation by Haidt. And both programs will be shared out through the district newsletter and ongoing communications to start the school year. The information changes will be communicated to families through a district newsletter coming from Dr. Johnston, as well as class and building meetings with students upon the arrival and the start of the school year. These changes were all changes and updates were approved by the committee with support. And these were the topic of concerns last year that were raised at the board meeting and throughout the year. Code of conduct revisions, middle school, there are no needed changes as there are already cell phone expectations that devices remain in lockers during school hours at the middle school. And at the high school, Dr. Rittenhouse and Dr. Lutz reviewed the proposed changes in the code of conduct to reflect cell phone hotel use. These revisions were approved by the committee to be presented to the board at this meeting. So there were no public comments, and our next meeting will be in October. The specific date to be determined. A presentation will be made on student performance, both all of academic, behavioral, and achievement data review 23-24, and our action plans for 24 and 25. Okay. And that concludes the Academic Affairs Committee report. Are there any questions or comments from the board with regard to that information? Okay. All right, great, thank you. All right, and this is the time in the meeting when we allow for public comments on agenda items. Looking at the attendees, there are several attendees at the meeting. Ms. Green, do we have any anyone signed up to speak?
No, we do not.
Okay, all right. So I'll allow a few minutes. We do have the opportunity for the public to make a comment. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes, and the guidelines are posted in the board agenda. If there is anyone online that would like to speak, you can raise your virtual hand. We'll give a minute. All right. I don't see that anyone is requesting to speak. So we will end the comment session and move forward with the agenda. So the next item is the approval of minutes. So the Board of School Directors approves the minutes from the June 18th, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. All right, the Board of School Directors approves the board minutes from June 25th, special board meeting. Is there a motion? And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, any abstentions? Thank you. And the next action is the Board of School Directors approves the board meeting minutes from July 18th, special board meeting. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions, sorry, about the minutes? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Approval of the treasurer's report. The recommended action is the Board of School Directors approves the June 30th, 2024 treasurer's report. Is there a motion? And a second. Okay, any comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. Any abstentions? Thank you, and that motion will pass. Approval of the treasurer's report. The Board of School Directors approves the July 31st, 2024 treasurer's report. Is there a motion? And a second? Okay, any comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, and that will pass. All right, human resources is our next section. The Board of School Directors approves the following personnel as presented in the attachment: administrative personnel, confidential personnel, certified personnel, support personnel, temporary personnel, extra pay for extra responsibilities for 2024-2025, and conference workshop attendance. Is there a motion? And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions regarding personnel agenda? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you, and that will pass. Number 2 on the human resources agenda is the incentive bonus. The Board of School Directors approves a performance incentive payment to Dr. Mary Jo Yannicone in the amount of $4,000, less all legally required withholdings, to be paid in one lump sum and not to be included in her salary for the successful accomplishment of her established objective performance standards for the 2023-2024 school year. Is there a motion? And a second? Are there any comments or questions from the board? I just would like to say thank you very much, Dr. Yannicone, for your work this past year and all of the accomplishments that the district has made that can be attributed to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that will pass. Congratulations, Dr. Yannicone. All right. The next item is Explorations Interim Assistant Principal. The Board of School Directors approves the staffing services agreement between service provider Explorations and School District of Springfield Township. Explorations will provide SDST with an interim assistant principal, Dr. Alexis McLoyne, for the SDST Middle School beginning September 12th, 2024 for approximately 70 days at a per diem rate of $660 per the agreement. Is there a motion? And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions on the board? Can I ask, is this, what is the assistant principal for? What is this, a replacement or substitute?
Yes, this is during the leave for Mrs. Brady,
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
anticipating.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Any other comments or questions? All right. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, thank you. That will pass. Number 4, Kaleidoscope Education Solutions. The Board of School Directors approves the agreement with Kaleidoscope Education Solutions for supplemental related services staffing needs effective June 25th, 2024. Is there a motion? And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Number 5, Humanis Corporation. The Board of School Directors approves the addendum to the contract with Humanis Corporation to update Exhibit A referral rates effective July 1st, 2024. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. That will pass. All right, academic affairs. We have quite a few contracts and so New Hope Academy tuition contracts. The Board of School Directors approves the tuition contracts between Springfield Township School District and the New Hope Academy for the 2024-2025 school year for students 2024080-01, 2024080-02, and 2024080-03, each in the amount of $42,945 for a total of $128,835. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second? Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that will pass. Nexus School ESY and school year tuition contract. The Board of School Directors approves the tuition ESY contract between the Springfield Township School District and the Nexus School from July 1st to August 8th, 2024 in the amount of $8,950. And the 2024-2025 school year contract in the amount of $127,065 for student 2024-0820-04. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. That will pass. Confidential settlement and release agreement. The Board of School Directors approves the confidential settlement and release agreement for student 2024-0820-05. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that will pass. And number 4, Bucks County Learning Center Program Placement Agreement. The Board of School Directors approves the program placement agreement between Bucks County Learning Center and the School District of Springfield Township for 1 seat for 1 student to attend the program for 1 term during the 2024-2025 school year at a cost of $175 per day. An additional fee of $20 per day will be applied for a student identified as needing special education services. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. I will pass. Bucksmont Academy Placement Agreement. The Board of School Directors approves the placement agreement between Bucksmont Academy and the School District of Springfield Township for the 2024-2025 school year at a cost of $195.60 per diem for general education admitted students and $238.37 per diem for special education support services admitted students. Is there a motion? And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, that passes. Number 6, Newsella. The Board of School Directors approves the renewal agreement with Newsella, a news story-based platform that aims to help students improve their literacy skills with real-world content in ELA, science, and social studies for grades 3 to 12 in the 2024-2025 school year at a cost of $27,976.22. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, thank you. That will pass. We have Newsella. K-8 Codes of Conduct. The Board of School Directors approves the 2024-2025 Codes of Conduct for the elementary schools and middle school. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions from the board? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Codes of conduct are in place. Number 8, the STHS Code of Conduct. The Board of School Directors approves the revised high school code of conduct, which begins on page 45 through 48 to include progressive disciplinary consequences for the use of cell phones during class time. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, thank you. The code of conduct will pass. Number 9, foreign exchange student. The Board of School Directors approves a foreign exchange student from Denmark to attend STHS for the 2024-2025 school year. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 And any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that will pass. Number 10, Cristaldo Associates, Inc. The Board of School Directors approves an agreement between Cristaldo Associates, Inc. and the Springfield Township School District to provide translation services from September 15th, 2024 through September 15th, 2025. Is there a motion? And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I have a quick question. Is this a replacement or a renewal?
This is a renewal.
Okay, thanks.
Any other comments or questions? Okay. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? And any abstentions? And we'll pass. All right, we don't have any motions in finance at this time. In the area of policy, we have all of the motions related to the items that Mrs. Hughes mentioned in the policy committee agreement or policy committee meeting. Number one, there is a minor revision to policies to align with updated terminology and school code as a result of Act 33 of 2023. The recommended action is that the Board of School Directors will approve the minor revisions to policies 146.1, 218, 218.1, 218.2, 222, 227, 323, 351, 803, 805, 805.1, 805.2, 806, 904, and 909 to align with updated terminology and school code as a result of Act 33 of 2023. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions with regard to these policies? Okay. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Jeff, I understand why you decided not to chair this meeting this evening. I get it. Okay. All right, number two, we have additional minor revisions to policies. Board policy, the Board of School Directors approves the minor revisions to policies 103, 103.1, 104, 801, and 807. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions on these policies? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, thank you. And those policies revisions will be passed. Number three, substantive changes to policies to reflect the USDOE April 19th, 2024 final rule under Title IX. The Board of School Directors approves the first reading of policies 234, 247, 249, 252, 317.2, 336, 339, and 824. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions on these policies? And this is a first reading for these. Okay. All right. We'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, that will pass. Number four, revised policy to reflect changes in recommended practice. The Board of School Directors approves the revisions to policy 707, the use of school facilities. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions on this policy? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, and that will pass. Number five, there are new policies. The Board of School Directors approves the first reading of policies 103.3, 104.3, and 815.1. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, and that will pass. Number 6, changes in policy titles. The Board of School Directors approves the change in policy titles to policies 103.2, 104.2, and 815.1. I'm sorry, 815.2. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And any abstentions? Okay. And that will pass. All right, and the next several items, the next item will be under the area of property. TE Construction Services. The Board of School Directors approves TE Construction Services as the lowest responsible bidder for a Springfield Township Middle School athletic event improvements and grading project for a total of $759,285. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? And I'm assuming this is the project that you referred to, Dr. Yannicone, in your. Okay.
Yes.
Mhm. Good, okay. Any other comments or questions? Right. And all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, and that will pass. Thank you. All right, and we are at the public comment on non-agenda items time in our meeting. The public comment session can last up to 30 minutes. Each statement made by a participant should be limited to 3 minutes. And we don't have anybody signed up to speak here in person. And I'm not seeing anyone. There are 2 people online. So I'll leave it open if there's anyone that would like to make a comment on non-agenda items. I don't see anyone raising a hand. Okay, so, well, thank you very much for attending tonight. Our future board meeting dates. There is a meeting that is today, August 20th is our regular board meeting, right? Correct?
That's right. Yeah, it's these two.
Yeah, so Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024 is a hybrid meeting, and Tuesday, September 17th is our regular board meeting, and that would be a hybrid meeting also. I'd like to again thank everybody for attending this evening. Welcome back to our staff, students, administration, parents, and good luck in this new school year. We're really excited to see how everybody does this year. It's going to be great. So, Dr. Yannicone, would you like to make any comments at all?
No, I want to thank the board for your continued great work, and I look forward to being here on the night of the first day of school.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent. Mr. Bedard, I know you're online. Is there anything that you wanted to say from afar?
No, that was a lot of content. Great job. And excited for the school year ahead. Thanks, everybody.
All right, great. So we will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.